A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadel Kabro. It's such a pleasure to have you joining us once again for our political conversations here. Conversations we say we hope will help our leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. I'm here with the university donor and political analyst. How are you doing today?
Good.
You well?
Well.
How are you feeling the mood in Nairobi? You know, Ruto has been here. We're going to talk about that. But what is the mood in Nairobi? He has been in Mathare, Kibera, Langata. What do you think the president hopes to achieve, and has he achieved, popularizing himself?
Everything about this tour looks fake.
Huh?
It looks fake. It's not selling. It's artificial. It's artificial, it's fake, it's superficial.
Where are you getting?
If you know English, you can add more words.
Where are you getting this feeling of fakeness?
But I know, I have a feel. This country understand it. And when I say so, some people think I'm joking. I know this country.
So what do you think they were trying to do with the president launching
trying to show that he's still in control of Nairobi, that things are not as bad as people are trying. No, the intelligence should tell him things are bad. They're making things worse.
Their social media handles is full of photos of mammoth or groups of people.
That doesn't sell. Who are you convincing, the outside world or Kenyans? Communication is a very complex thing. It must be handled by experts who understand communication. Who is your audience? Are you doing a PR for the outside world? If the answer is yes, maybe. But then, to what end? Do you have something sinister you want to do in future? So that after you have done it, the world will still support you because they know only a few disgruntled Kenyans are against you. So unless the president plans to do something sinister to his own people, and he wants outside support. He wants the outside people to know things are not as bad as they then would appear. But if it's for your own people, it's not selling, it's not.
So in politics, someone can just do this to plot something so that they get support from outside.
So that you see, sometimes noise from outside, sanctions from outside can affect a country. So you can do this and create the image to the outside world that you are a very popular president. So should you do something sinister, and there's like some kind of uprising, people rise up against you, and you clamp down on them, hit a few of them hard, then it is easier to convince the world that it's only a few disgruntled elements.
He has embraced the Kasongo tag. He has been dancing, leading people to sing that song. What do you think the president is doing when he's now...
Cheap communication advisors. Cheap. And the sad thing is, I'm not even the best in the league. There are people in that league I respect. I can give him 5 or 10 at a go.
Today it's not you.
Others. Of course they don't trust me. So I can give them experts, 10 of them at a go. Right now, 1, 2, 3, Nguge, Nani, Kak. I have them. They are there. Finally, Daystar University, the people like Kobon, they are. You go Nguge, UON, Kina, Nani, Aga Khan. I know them. They are at Aga Khan University, UON, they are at MUST, they are at Daystar. They are within media itself, people who practitioners of media. There are people who can handle communication for the president. And they will tell him all these things he's doing are not working. None of them is working.
Don't you think people were, excited with that Kasongo singing?
No.
And that's why it was getting
people are laughing.
shares?
People are laughing at it. Because you see, the crowd the president is having is not organic. It's not organic. These are manufactured crowds. And the sad bit, and I'm going to talk about it in my video, is that you can manufacture a crowd. There was a documentary on NTV some times back. I featured in that documentary about crowds for hire in politics.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yes.
NTV?
Yes.
It's a well-done documentary by some young man, I think, what was his name? I can't remember. You can hire a crowd. You can manufacture a crowd. But the question is where? You can manufacture a crowd in Mount Kenya. Western, Nyanza, everywhere, but not Nairobi.
Why do you have that conclusion?
How do you manufacture a crowd in Nairobi? You'll end up using the wrong people to get a manufactured crowd in Nairobi. You reach out to the wrong people, to the gangs. That's simple. That's why you saw what was happening, looting, people being harassed. Because once you embrace the gangs, once they are done with you, they have done their bit. First of all, they will fight over the money with the near tragic consequences. You remember what happened to the 12 guys and others. Secondly, once they are done with you, you see when Raila was rioting in Nairobi, the crowds up to midnight, they will just go home. You remember?
Yes.
Up to evening, 6, 7, they'll just go home. But the moment other forces joined the demonstrations of 2020, you saw what happened?
Yes.
There was looting. So once these gangs had assisted you, they don't just go home and sleep. They top up what you gave them with what they can get.
And that is the conversation that is happening. Ruto's tour has done more damage than good, not even just politically, but the thugs in Mathare, the philanthropist that was killed by his motorcade. How can you avoid this? Or
That's
is
what
this
I'm
a
saying.
normal thing in politics?
The president needs experts. And they are there. In communication, in politics, in governance. They are there. They will not these hangers on, these cheerleaders around him. No. Get serious people will tell you, look here, Nairobi is a little tricky for you now. So how do you approach Nairobi? Don't confirm the things, the jokes that people are having about you. Don't go in that direction. Zone the country. And approach each zone professionally from a political point of view. How do you approach cost? It's not hostile to you. How do you build on cost which is receiving you well? How do you build on Nyanza and a bit of Western where you are not, you don't have hostility? How do you go to Mount Kenya which is hostile to you? Who do you send? How do you approach it? How about Nairobi, cosmopolitan? Nairobi belongs to two communities in terms of politics. It belongs to the Luo and the Kikuyu. The Luyas are almost more than these guys, but they are not there. They are there, but they are not there. So, if Gachagua were to try and get crowds in Nairobi, you will not believe it. They will be impossible. Big, huge mammoth crowds.
Because of the community.
Because of the Kikuyu community, because of the Gema community. Raila, the same. Raila now has lost the other following he used to have. But his people are still there for him. You can get organic crowds. So, unless therefore you are careful, the way you handle Nairobi, we are going to witness a lot of violence. As a major community comes up against these hired crowds. So he has to be very careful how he handles Nairobi.
There are people who are talking about promises, from chapati to dealing with the water
you see how
problem.
people are joking. People are swimming on chapati.
People are swimming on chapati. Do you think it's high time?
You can make fun of that and
promises?
begin dishing chapatis. You think you are making fun and sing a song. No, this is a very serious matter. The voter today is not the voter of 1980. The voter today is a little more sophisticated than the voter 10 years ago. The person going to vote in 2027 is markedly different from the voter of 5 years ago, 2022.
So these gimmicks that
they don't work.
The dances that politicians have.
They don't work. The politics of rooftops, what do you call them? Sunroof, what do you call it?
Rooftop.
Of cars. And dancing. Do you think Raila can come back without politics of uniform? At the ODM uniforms, that one is over. Kenyans are not listening to that.
So you look
in fact, even at a national level, even days of national holidays are over. In terms of, we are in Nyeri, we are in Kisii, we are in Uhuru Park. Does anybody go there? Those things are overtaken by events. So a national holiday will be observed at State House with a few dignitaries invited, and that's all. That's where we are now. You know, you cannot take Kenyans back to 1960, where everything stood still during Madaraka Day. Or Kenyatta, Jomo, is coming to Tarbo where I used to stay. Everything stops. No, you can't take Kenyans back there. So you cannot go and dance on a platform now you are campaigning. People just look at you and laugh. Everything is digital. The votes will be sought digitally. The young men will organize digitally to register and vote and mobilize digitally. Well, unaenda kwa platform kudance, you are wasting your time. So for the president to keep moving around Nairobi, he's wasting his time.
And handing out chapatis. But what message would you have expected? Yes, we can say it's a hired crowd. Yes, there are people there. But what should he have spoken about?
Hope. Sell hope to the people of Kenya.
Not promises.
Not fake promises. And I want to advise the president, and again for free. Don't give Kenyans promises. Nobody believes them. It is just that bad. Even if the president brought that machine for making chapati, people will know it will break tomorrow. They will eat the chapati, but they still not trust it. They are eating it. Do you know how human nature works? Why doesn't the president surround himself with intelligent people? They will tell you human nature is very complex. When people doubt you, when you promise they are convinced you will not give. Even when you give, they are still not convinced you are giving. They think you'll still take it away. I don't know whether you get.
So he'll give the chapatis if he does, but people will be eating knowing it won't last.
It won't last. It's fake. Hata hii unga sijui imetoka wapi. Labda ni ile unga ilimwagika kwa factory amepewa bure. Ile unaenda unafagia. La kesho haita. That's how bad it is. So you don't approach it jokingly. That's where the country has reached. The country does not believe the president.
Do you think it would have
And this is all about perception. It's not even reality. Let me tell you for a fact, there are many things the president is doing, but nobody is seeing any of them. If the president thinks I'm lying, let him look at his own predecessor. Even if he's given 10 years, will he do half of what Uhuru did? He will not. But did people believe Uhuru had done anything?
Nothing.
The president himself, don't talk to Manyora, Mr. President. Don't talk to anybody. Talk to yourself. Look at what Uhuru did. Just look at what Uhuru did and answer yourself. Will you match it? If in 10 years, even if you are given 20. Not because Uhuru was better than Ruto, but sometimes it's a product of the circumstances of the time. A guy may do a lot of roads like Uhuru did, not because he had the money or he was better, because of the circumstances.
We were at that point where roads had to be constructed.
Yes.
Electricity had to be connected.
Maybe the world had more money and was lending easily, cheaply. Maybe China was more generous. Maybe the Chile. You know, there are many factors. Yes. But I'm looking at the objective reality in terms of what Uhuru did. What Uhuru did, and I've had time to look at it carefully. It is what the colonial government did, Kenyatta government, Moi government, Kibaki government, put together in terms of infrastructure. Put together, they didn't. It's not half of what Uhuru did. And the question is, was that appreciated by the people? William Samoei Ruto was part of the Pentagon in 2007. Kibaki had done things which at that time appeared to be a miracle. Yet he was fighting for his life. My own father, in trying to convince me why he was voting for Kibaki, why we should vote for Kibaki, did it in a very dramatic. Hapo kwa mango. Up near the mango tree.
Yes, in Lombay.
Between the mango tree and his house. Yes. You've done a show there.
Yes.
My father took hold of me and turned me like the compass. East. And asked me, if you look this direction, is it possible you could miss something Kibaki has done? I looked at it and said, no, there must be something he has done. Like that until the
360.
What was my father saying? May God rest Mzee Moja's soul in eternal peace. Mzee Moja was telling me, it is inconceivable that Kenyans were thinking of removing Kibaki after he had introduced free primary education, CDF, and now localized funds, which Moi had tried, but it didn't work. You remember now, devolved funds did not start with devolution. There were funds localized for women, for what, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So Kibaki had done a lot of things. But when the time to show him the door came in 2007, Ruto and his team showed Kibaki dust. So Ruto should know what I'm talking about.
Then does this mean...
It's rarely what you have done. It's about perception. And that's why I'm saying you need to be surrounded by experts. You will tell you, for now it's not about what you are doing. Because nobody's seeing it. The dust of doubt and mistrust and hatred and anger is so thick, Kenyans cannot see what Ruto is doing. Not to say that he should stop doing, but he should stop wasting his time telling Kenyans, I have done this. And he should stop dreaming that he will be judged in 2027 on the basis of what he will have done. Because Kenyans are not seeing it. And you can't blame them, it's human nature.
Do you think what we saw in Nairobi would have been a success to some extent if there was no pact between Ruto and Raila? He was in Kibera, he was in Kawangware, he was in Mathare, Raila's strongholds here in Nairobi. Do you think Ruto would have had that chance, even if you talk about crowds have been hired? You
know, without Raila, then how would he have moved in Nairobi? Yeah, you would not.
So even if crowds were hired,
they were still under the cover of the Raila.
It has to.
Yeah, under the cover of Raila. Because even if you are looking for people, you are getting it from the Raila camp. So even if other people in that camp don't like it, they will not be violent about it.
Okay. So then, do you think it was a success, the 5 days in Nairobi?
No, it's a waste of time.
Period.
The president wasted his time. He should not do that again. Actually, if I were to advise the president, I don't want to be as crude as my friend Kisi. But I just want to advise the president. Try this for the next 6 months. Just try. Keep off the rooftops. Keep off the helicopters. For once, do some little work from your office. Just try for 6 months. My advice to the president, just try for 6 months. Let people not see you. Let them just hear the president was due extremely necessary functions only, whether they are in Nairobi. But the operating principle for now, let it be no movement out of Nairobi. All work done in State House and Harambee House. Try it for 6 months, Mr. President. You look for me and thank me. The perception will begin to change. But the more you go out, the more people make fun of you. Look at the chapati fans. Mpaka watu wanaogelea juu, wana swim. Kwa maji. You know that's not good for the president. The image of the president must be at a certain level. We've reduced it and taken so low, people are stepping on the image of the president. So my advice to the president, and I'm doing this for free, for love of country. Try this for the next 6 months. Operate from State House and Harambee House. And attend only national functions.
Then we see.
And even then, with minimal fanfare. Minimal fanfare. Minimal fanfare.
Arrive, speech, get out.
Just arrive, deliver your speech, back to your car, back to Nairobi if you are out of Nairobi. Try for 6 months. You'll come and look for me and tell Manyora, become my advisor from now on. It will work wonders. Get out of the public. Let people begin even to look for you. To miss you. And anytime you say, speak little, Mr. President. Very little. Let a week pass without people hearing anything from the president. Stop tweeting. Vunja your Twitter handle. Wachana nayo. Stop talking to the public. Only when it's necessary.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's Prof to Ruto. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.